Hello and welcome. It's Roller Wiener Monday. Welcome back. It's good to see everybody. Boy, there's a lot of winter weather going on out there, isn't there? Yikes. Christina was first way back last weekend today. Trucker Hershey trying to get in there, almost very close. So there we go with that. There is a lot of news today, too. That driver in the Minnesota protest, did you know that he's been charged? Now, they haven't done anything to him, but he's been charged with, a crime. How about that? They haven't caught up to him or anything yet. If you use your jakes, you might go to jail in this city that I'm about to talk about. How about that? Jail? That under 21 pilot program? Oh, yeah. This is hilarious. Back to AB5, Uber and Lyft really lost their appeal in the appeals court and must classify all their drivers as employees, and that could affect trucking as well, you owner-operators, so keep that in mind. Hey, the ATA's got a virtual conference. They talked about retention, pay not discussed in that. They didn't discuss pay. I love it. I have some stock news, too, of course, among many other things going on in the news. It's been a busy trucking news week, I will say that. So there we go with that. Oh, I didn't do this. All right, so I'm here. Of course, Mark, you should do better at this by now. I know I should do this better. Yikes. I'm trying to pop out the chat so it's bigger. There it is. Okay, so I can read it. Once you get in your extreme upper 30s, it's hard to read that small font they put it in. And that's the story of that. Mark, no one cares. I know. Okay. And doing that, I should have all that done, which I didn't. And so there we go. So perfect. Welcome back, Christina. Hello there. Eddie McMadden is here. George Costanza's here. Hello there. Night Ranger is here. Let's see. Kelly, hello from Montana. Yeah, I got you down for some bad weather here. I got a couple of bad weather spots. George Wilson, light snow in Illinois. Yikes. That's crazy. Kenneth P., what's going on? Let's see here. Where am I? Oh, Roger Morris here. Very good. Awesome. That's pretty awesome. I get some of the biggest stars here on this show, which I really appreciate everybody coming in, especially the stars, former presidents, everybody. It's pretty good. Darth Helmet is here. Hello there. Oh, let's see here. Kevin, right? What's going on? It's Mr. Plow. We're going to leave. We're going to have you... I don't know what I was just thinking about. Oh, you're going to be super busy coming up. Did I leave the manhole late last night? Oh, I barely get to the show from that. Once you're in that manhole, it's hard to get out of. It's hard to get into also. Joe Ritchie, getting inspected. I'm glad I don't get inspected. Alex, the OTR driver, checking in. That's good to see you here. Ansa and Penelope, Rain Blossom Smith. Good morning. Hello. What's happening out there? Everybody freezing? Trucker Beetle Bailey's here. To stir the trucking stew, I try to do what I can. Throw a few wiener chunks into the stew. Big, huge Mike. Hey, it's good to see you. TJ Jones is here. And where did I go? Oh, Edgar Gomez. Hello there. Brian Hawes. What's going on? D-Boy611. Hanging at the doctor's office today, waiting on a DOT physical. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Are you going to pass it? That's the question. That is the question. And does your company pay you for that time? That's a pretty interesting question. Hello from Great Plains Transport. Oh, right. Homeless salary and free groceries. Happy Roller Wiener Monday. That's right. Salary and free groceries at Great Plains. Oh, here they are right here. There's bonuses, too, not just the salary. And they start you out with free groceries. Isn't that something? They fill your wallet and your face. So that's pretty good. And from what I understand, you can get wieners with some of that money. Maybe not roller wieners, though. But still, a wiener's a wiener. That's what we say here. So it's good to see you here today. How's the weather going up there? Yikes, at Great Plains. YouTube's recent changes for what? So, hey, Josh, life on the road recruiting. What's going on? Let's see here. Didn't see the Sunday rant. Yeah, some Sundays it just doesn't come together. I will say that. Alan Benedict, greetings from LA. Appreciate your work. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Joe Ritchie, it's funny how the computer screen loads font for old guys. Can't believe they profile us like that. I know, it seems to only be, well, not me, because extreme upper 30s is not old. It's just, a little bit larger font would be pretty, a lot more helpful. So you kind of have to pop out. It's called popping out the chat, and it's bigger on the screen, which is much easier to see, I'll tell you that. I think you should brighten up the studio. Well, look, I like the pink in the background. That's actually a flamingo that is lit up back there. So, freight bond. Freezing rain on I-44. I know. I have Oklahoma here as, where are we down here? Oh, yeah, 40 in Oklahoma and through Texas. That seems to be a problem, too. Paul Harris, sorry about being late. I was watching Cash is King for the third live. I know, he's live every 5 minutes. So he's probably been live 6 times already. I did see it popped up like at 12:25 with another live. So, but look, that's a good channel. Tons of information. It was cold 38 in California. Yikes. It's 42 here. D-Boy 611 passed with flying colors. All right, so you get more time to drive. Isn't that great? I'm sure your company will appreciate that as well. And like I always tell people, no matter what state you're in, always make sure the state gets a copy of that license or that your physical. I never depend on the doctor's office. Sometimes they go, oh, well, we'll fax this out or we'll send it out. No way. No way. I always send it myself anyway. Even if they say they'll fax it, I send my own fax it myself to make sure that it got through. Because if the state doesn't see a physical on record for you, they'll take your license. So I don't ever depend on the company or anything. You got to do all that yourself. Worth a few bucks, at the museum to use the fax machine to send it to the state. Dominican truck driver pulling a load for Western Express. 3 more months till I finish the contract. You feel like you're in prison. Yeah. Isn't that something? How much you make a week over there, if you want to tell us, curiously, at Western Express, because they're running ads for like $75,000 a year on Craigslist right now. I couldn't believe that. That's the Manos taglines. Wieners are wieners. That's true. That's true. And they'll take them all. Got a Die Hard jacket from store closing sale at Kmart for $12. Boy, that'd be great. The Kmart here closed. Oh, I don't know how many years ago that place closed. The Kmart. And Sears has been gone for a while too. Yeah. Todd Highfill. Hey, Todd, how's it going? Hey, what's going on over there? It's going great here. Any day you wake up is a great day, right? You got another day left to do whatever you want. Ezekiel, it's freezing in Washington. I-5 is frozen. What is going on? What happened to my 80-degree weather? Life on the road recruiting. Pink is my color. I look good in it. It makes me look good. I dusted off all my thermal underwear. Yikes. Hopefully we won't have to get into that yet. Yikes. Jaws Want Sing. Hello. Hey, what's happening? Drummer to driver, stuck in Laramie since Saturday, about to try to cross the mountain. 80's open according to this thing, but 80 was all slick, so. But apparently it's open. There's a big accident. 15 vehicles in the first snowstorm. Please, okay, leave space. Take your time. Kenneth P. could be worse. It could be like you and be in the overextended upper 30s. Yikes. That's next. That's the next step coming up on the next birthday, I think. Christina, they'll take your license. Oh, it did happen to you. Did you have did the doctor's office or your company or whatever say, oh, we'll take care of it and send it in there? Is that what happened? Is that exactly what happened? I mean, it's certainly, I guess you would say it's certainly worth the probably $3 even at a truck stop or whatever, $3, $4 to have them fax that thing to the state. I always do it, even though the doctor's office here says, oh, well, we'll fax it. I go, okay, but then I fax my own copy down there. Todd, 65 in Blytheville, Arkansas. Well, apparently that's where we should be, because this is about ridiculous here. I'm trying to see how long I can go without wearing a jacket. So that's what I try to do every year. No jacket yet. I'm like Phil Collins of going outside, okay? And people from the 80s will understand what I'm talking about. Alex, the OTR driver, got snowed in Iowa last week. Oh, right. It did. Snow did blast through there. Then got warm weather. We got back to Virginia by the end of the week, and now it's cold again. This isn't super terrible, but... Michael, my company faxes mine in. Yeah, no matter who says they're going to fax it for me, I make sure it gets faxed in myself. Worth a few bucks. Trucker Beta Bailey, I send mine by email. Oh, do they take it by email there? Here in Indiana, there's a number on the thing which they send you in the mail or whatever with a fax number. And so you get the response fax, and then you can call in to some 800 number and check and see the expiration date of your physical. And that's how I do it here, to make sure it gets in. But that's also certified, another great way. So you're doing it yourself because it's your license. The company would be like, oh, well, sorry about that. Guess you can't drive for 3 weeks till we get it taken care of, Well, Bond, good afternoon, Market Trucking Answers fans. Hello there. Joe Ritchie, Cash's Skin is always profiling in live mode. I know. He's got so many live view hours. It's crazy. I found the only Kmart open in California. Josh, yeah, I don't know where there is one around here. It's been a long time since the Kmart has been closed. Every once in a while, there's trucks parked in the Kmart parking lot here. So they come into town, I guess, and sleep there because it's kind of in town. I don't even trust my company or the mail. I take my certification to the Secretary of State in person, Kenneth P. I'm not that all big. I'd have to drive to Indianapolis. And I don't know if they'd let you in to see the Secretary of State. I demand to see the Secretary of State. Hand it to him directly. I don't know the name of that person here. But no, I see what you're saying. It's not right here, though. That's, I'm looking at a 120-some mile drive. I go ahead and fax it in. Luke misses the Kmart Cafe. I know. We used to shop in there, hit the blue lights. Andrew, what up, Mark? Any day above ground is a great day. I know. You got another day to do whatever it is you wanted to do. So you don't know how many of those days are. They're counting down for everybody. Need a new posting and we'll get a picture of Taos, New Mexico. Oh, that'd be great. Oh, Dominican truck driver. Over the road 600 miles and under 34 cents for that. Oh, 26 cents is 26 cents per mile. A good week, maybe 650. That's terrible. Over 600 is 26. I mean, look. There's no way you can make 75 grand. You just can't run enough miles to do that. At least you're getting a start. And, at the end of this, how do they think they're ever going to keep somebody? Do you just suddenly go to 50 cents a mile? I mean, that's not great. That's not a great thing to do to people. And then they wonder why, we can't keep people. What are we doing? That's kind of a low amount to start. 26 cents? I mean, holy mackerel. The only thing you can use them for your experience and then get out of there. Kelly, out of my Columbus, Montana, on Interstate 90, you saw a flipped over semi and another dying off the road and driving too fast. I know, right? Snow and people are like, let's blast along. I always see it in the snow. There's always Billy Big-Rigger coming up. Get over up there, trucking answers. I'm trying to get through. Right, and because they got somewhere to go. Has the pileups always been happening back in the 60s? Yeah, all the time. Everybody was piling up. It just didn't make the news then as much because we didn't have access to international, the whole country's news basically like you do now. Bingo, you can click in and boom, you get news stories. Then it would have been a local story and would have been very rare for, somebody to talk about it like Andy Rooney or somebody to talk about it. Our trucking adventure checking from Andalusia, Alabama. Oh, hello there. Christina passed the written test for tankers, doubles, triples, hazmat, so ready when you get your license. I didn't keep track of it. Oh, okay. You just didn't keep track of it? Yeah, so a lesson learned, right? And now I still say send it in all the time, and that's great. Now you have all the tests passed. Now we're all ready to rock and roll. North Carolina, at one time I was temporarily downgraded to a Class D. Oh, this is when they did the class. Ironically, I started it as a Class D license in Illinois. That's the first license. El Papa Trucking, don't do your DOT physical at CVS. Do they do DOT physicals at CVS? Really? You have to have an approved doctor now. They have to be in some kind of federal database or something. I don't know if they still do them there. We take a copy of the long form to the safety guy. He faxes everything in. Plus, I keep my long form in the truck. I always keep the long form with me. I have that little card and the long form. I'm still saying, look, that safety guy might be the greatest guy in the world, and I assume he does fax it, but I'm not going to risk that. It's my license, right? So I'm sending it myself for whatever the few bucks. I was stopped on the road from the compliant department. Had to email it to a person in Tallahassee and drove it over. Cost you $200. That's a low cost lesson, right? A $200 lesson, right? The Real Big John Trucking. Hey, Mark, I've been with Colonial. Nice. CFS. I was in the shop 4 days this week, so I didn't make much. But for the first 3 weeks, I averaged $12.75. $12.75, all right. Well, if you're in the shop, let me ask you this. What do they pay you if you're broke down? Is there no kind of breakdown pay at all? And is this as a company driver or an owner there? Oh, no, in Michigan, our Secretary of State, like the other states, DMV. Oh, okay. So you have it set up differently. I-80 is open through Rawlins, Norio, Coochie. Yeah, I did see that 80 was open but red on the map because I had a few of those. A bad day in trucking beats a good day in the office. George Costanza, any day is a better day than sitting in a four-walled cubicle with pictures of your family that you never see. At least you can put those pictures in your truck and never see them. Caleb is here. What's going on? Blue Light Special roller wieners. They did have hot dogs at Kmart for people that don't remember. So, I mean, it couldn't have been all bad in there, right? I'm assuming when I scanned it, they didn't accept the scan of the physical card. Oh, that stinks. Aviator Trucker got my new Peterbilt 2021 with a 13-speed and dual exhaust. Dang it, how does that happen? Who's still pulling the 13 speeds out? One of my jobs, we used to deliver all the import freight for Kmart stores in northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. I used to drive for Ames. Who remembers Ames department stores? Okay, I drove for Ames department stores, so that was pretty good. That wasn't too bad of a job. I had a cab over International. Alex, the OTR driver, just passed a Prime Truck. 2020 best fleet to drive for. Yeah, right. They vote themselves the best fleet to drive for and put a sticker on there. Hey, we're the best fleet. We say so. He needs to get a 6 months experience at least through the bed a little bit and get away from that. I wouldn't get out of bed for 34. Yeah, Michael, the problem is you probably have a year contract there. That's how most of these places do. So you're going to have to stick that out that year, get a year, and then you can move on. I mean, that's just not enough money. It's just not even enough to get started. I made a quarter in 90, it seems like. John Emmel, PADOT sends you a letter when they receive your medical recertification. That's pretty good. I wish they would do that here, but you can call in here and see when it expires. You can type your info into their number or whatever, and then it'll say your physical expires on this date or whatever. Chris Dunaway, finally here for part of the live show. Hey, what's going on? We're glad you're here. Nikita, I'm at the school on lunch. I'm taking my test on Wednesday for CDL. I'm happy to catch a show. All right, what are they giving you for lunch? Is it pizza? And is it provided by a trucking company? I love it. Thanks for coming in. You were making 36 cents back in 2003, Michael. That's what I'm saying about Western. And it's low pay. I get it. And I know everybody has to start somewhere, but everybody doesn't have to be abused by the system. That's not the way it should be. The way it shouldn't be abusing people. And the pay there is so low. They're not getting. I would understand if they're saying, well, we take freight that other people don't take for less money, but I don't see them doing that. They make money just like other companies. Put your members only jacket on, Todd. I did have a members only jacket, and I look good in it too, by the way. I wanted that Michael Jackson jacket, which people probably don't even know what it is or who he is, from Thriller, but my dad wouldn't buy it for me, so because it was like $100 and some. He's like, no way are you getting that. Kenneth driving up 55 in eastern Arkansas, snow on the ground. Oh, that's cotton. Yeah. Wow. It was like Arkansas's covered with snow already. Cotton. Is it ready to go? Get some of that and make a shirt. I don't know how you do that though. Delroy White. You have a CDL for 5 years. You've been blacklisted by 2 carriers for a failed drug test, which I approved from the doctor that prescribed the medication. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a real problem. You're not really blacklisted. You're on the, now you're in probably the database, the clearinghouse as a failed drug test. That is a problem. And if you had a prescription, why would they do that anyways? High winds in Southern California, Ronnie. That's wonderful. Paul, we can get blown over or snowed over. Paul Vines, hello. Just ask for proof of sending. CVS. I know, Michael. What CVS is giving a DOT physical? Maybe some of them do it. I don't know. Chef Matt, hey, what's going on? Hey, well, how about that? I read another language almost. Met a driver that's been here supposedly 10 years. Amazing. Making only 30 cents. Why would you do that? I think he probably has murder on his record. Well, that's why he's here to start with. To be here that have been long 9 months and have already had 4 DMs. Right. He must be, have 7 felonies. There's no way a driver would stay for 38 cents with 10 years experience. Just a one morning of phone calls would get you easily a dime, probably 15 cents, maybe more. I mean, holy moly. I mean, we could do this right here if I could find it. Look at here. You can just make a phone call and get 15 cents right there. That was easy. Oh, I wish I had one of those buttons to press now. Now that I just thought about that. Okay, what's the no Jake break city? All right, no Jake break, right. All right, so Jake break. Haldon, H-A-L-E-D-O in Haldon, New Jersey. It's going to be, if you get caught running your Jakes in town, $150 fine and 10 days. The judge can give you 10 days. 10 days in the slammer, the pokey, right? 10 days. How about that? They are serious because apparently There's some kind of gravel pit around there, and all the gravel trucks are coming down some hill with their jakes on, and of course everybody's got to have a 12-inch exhaust, and with just straight piping it and coming down into town, and the residents are sick of it. And so that's what we're going to do. 10 days. Wouldn't it be amazing if you got 10 days for that? That's a misdemeanor, basically, I guess. 10 days in jail. Trump just killed it in Allentown. All right. Sweet. Comfortable Man 12. Nice. Fleet Nav Systems is here. All right. And they are going to be live tomorrow. How about that? 10/27 at 3 p.m. Oh, yeah. They are back live. Good to see you. Thanks for being here today. Okay, CRC. I just started Crete at 41 cents a mile. As a student, after 6 months, I was moved to 51 cents. That's what I'm saying. To stay at Western, I understand you're in a contract or whatever. Okay, you're going to stay. But if you've been there 10 years, right, and you're still getting 38 cents, that isn't necessary anymore unless you have a totally terrible record. Did you just get a DUI 3 weeks ago or something? I mean, if you have any kind of decent record, 38 cents after 10 years is not acceptable anymore. It just isn't. You can make a call and get way more money. And I understand money isn't everything, and I always say that you should like your job. But eventually, the pay raise is so great. 51 cents from 38 cents is a lot of money every week. I mean, you're looking at hundreds of dollars a week. That's huge. Alan, I made a mistake with my physical of taking it to the California DMV, put it in the express box, thinking it would be processed. 3 weeks later, nice. 3 weeks later, and we're waiting. Ames was that before Zaire. Zaire was around the same time. Yeah, Zaire. I worked at a Zaire, but I never drove a truck for them. I don't remember Caldors. We didn't have those. The real Big John Trucking, I did not get breakdown pay. You're a lease driver. Oh, well, wait a minute now. $12.75 isn't great as a lease driver. I live in the same town as a terminal, so you just went home. All right. I still think that, I guess you're leased, though, because so you run your own business. See, that's the problem. $12.75 as a lease driver isn't great. As a company driver, it is. But I think if you're going to lease the truck, you need to make more than $1,200 a week. You don't have any benefits. That's what I'm telling you. Kelly, GP Transco gives you $100 per day and pays you for your hotel for breakdown. That's why I want to know if we're got a lease driver or a company driver. So lease, you're kind of on your own, right? Because you are in business for yourself. Jeremy ate 2 roller wieners and had a violent diarrhea. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the beauty of it. I was talking to Rail to see about flatbed experience, and they told me 55 cents. And they average 1,400 miles a week, average 75,000 a year. Well, they get paid for tarping and all these accessorial pays on flatbeds. So you can get it on all the extra pay. You lost your phone on Friday during the first snowfall. How does that happen? In Colorado, got put out of service for no physical. Lesson learned. Yeah, that's right. No physical, you're out of service somewhere. That's why I'm very big on people sending it themselves. Even if your company, everybody says they'll send it, and I still think you should send it. Andrew, my 2020 P does a 13-speed, but driver's side exhaust is a dummy static. Well, that stinks. Why put the exhaust in there if it's not real? It's literally all show and no go. What is the point of that? That's like screwing a tailpipe to the other side of your car when you only have a single exhaust. My first dedicated run was Mervin's. I'm from Texas to California. I've heard of Mervin's. We don't have those here either. Dow moved to day shift, got a Dow 25 an hour raise, up to 30, 50, overtime after 40. That's pretty good money. And that's a nice truck. You got a pretty good deal going on there. DMV and get a physical receipt. Oh, will they do that? I never thought about doing that. I actually never thought about taking it right to the DMV office. I'll have to call them here and see if they would do that. Big Huge Mike in Rhode Island, you must go to their website and take a clear picture of your medical card and send it in. When they approve it, they email you back with a confirmation. Oh, really? That's weird. Take a clear picture. Well, at least you don't have to fax it that way. Alex, the OTR driver, Western, worst 2 weeks of my life, and that was just training. Yeah. Once you're in a contract, though, I do think you should stick it out, especially if you have a few months left. End the contract with them, and then I would tell them when you leave why you're leaving. Like, this pays crazy. You know, they need to hear that. I'd prefer CVS over Walmart physical. Josh, Walmart, does that doctor get physical? The doctor at Walmart is the guy that was in Cannonball Run, who drove around Burt Reynolds, that doctor. Alex, the OTR driver, can understand how people want to be micromanaged as fuel routing. Oh, do they do that at Western? Where they say you must fuel at this place? That's super aggravating. What's the best way to find an air leak? Do they have a smoke kit? No, you usually can hear it. Fill the tanks up and turn off the truck. When I can afford it, I take sun cholera seaweed pellets. Wow, sun cholera seaweed pellets. I think it's time for a cat break, and as always, if you're going to wear it, make it a parrot. Oh, always. My bell moved over there. And let's see who's over here today. Oh, right. What? What? Wake up. The dilute tortie is on. Wake up, cat. This cat, I haven't seen her all morning. She had her breakfast, and then she went to sleep. There was a bird back there, and that was the last I saw her. I make 33 teaming on all miles. So you're splitting 66 cents? That's pretty good. To split 66? Right. Captain Flatbed is here. What's going on? Ralph, good afternoon. Live streaming twice this week, tomorrow and Friday. That's correct. I didn't put that on there. I should. Friday, 3 p.m. for admins, right? Got a cool one for automatically turn off yard move statuses on Friday. All right. Well, that'd be for everybody then. I should have put it on there and didn't. I didn't do it. I'm sorry. So, 3 p.m. twice this week. That is 10% of the amount that Cash is King Trucking will do just today. Comfortable man, 38 cents with 10 years. That's a joke. I mean, what are they thinking at Western? That's the question. Well, you know what they're thinking? We can get people to drive for 38 cents. That's what they're thinking. That's why it has to end with the driver saying, look, I'm not accepting 38 cents a mile. No way. 38 cents after 10 years is not great, says George. Not even if they stick you in a carpeted long-nosed Pete with all the chrome. Oh, like Western. Right, Western. I guess Western and Western Express at least have their pay in common. Clean record, 10 years, you could be making 50. Easy. You can make a phone call. Certainly with 10 years, you could go anywhere if you have any kind of clean record. So that isn't an issue. So you can just pick a company, just start calling around and say, look, I make 38 cents now. What can you do for me? And everybody's going to be able to do more than that. You're a snow removal specialist. You're going to be in need here pretty soon. There's signs up in Indiana hiring for that. My company pays 55 cents, Michael. Exactly. So look at that kind of pay raise. 17 cents a mile. Can you imagine that? $300, $400 a week. 20 grand just by making a phone call. That's enough to leave a company. Dope Law is 20 an hour with overtime after 40 with about 50 hours. Good money. Well, it depends where you live and how much money you need to make and if you like the job. I mean, 50 hours would be what, $1,200 or so. That'd be around $1,200 for that week because of the overtime, because you'd have 10 hours of overtime. Is it a pension? Is a pension worth it? Not to me, because that could be gone or whatever. So no, the pension doesn't move me. Company driver, no experience, $1,500 a week, no benefits. That's no benefits, but still $1,500 to start with. California, it's best to take the physical to DMV. Everybody should do whatever each state is. Whatever your state says, like, okay, take a picture of it in Rhode Island, here, fax it in Indiana. But the driver, as soon as you get that copy of your physical, make sure the state gets it and make sure you do it, no matter if your company or anybody else says they'll do it. Any company paying overtime after 40 is good. That's not bad. You should always get overtime. As long as you have a header board on the flatbed, you don't need one on the tractor and vice versa. That's correct, right? I want to patent a personal roller wiener machine, maybe cook 4 at a time, set it up in the back of the bunk. Idea would make millions. I can quit trucking. That would be great. As long as you can plug it in there, yeah. You eat hot dogs to cure all your ailments. Yikes. That because nothing can live in a body that's full of wieners. Good morning, fresh from Cash's Live. Right, that's correct. I did see that. Good. Thanks for being here. The Mass DOT will take the paper copy and redo all the documents, even if you did it prior. Government efficiency. Nice. Typical government. And they're not great, as we know from that guy in that pickup truck out there. They're not great at doing anything with documents in Massachusetts. I'm debating between a new Bronco or Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport. Luke, all right. Well, this is the last year for the Tacoma made in the United States, if that matters to you. They're going to move the production to Mexico. I saw a big thing about it. The Bronco will be made here in the U.S. So My problem with it, of course, would be even Consumer Reports says never buy the first year of any vehicle, whether it's been redone or it's new. So there you go. First year of a brand new vehicle would make me nervous. Fleet Nav, no worries. Made that decision today. Not back to weekly streaming. Just have too much good info. I know. Once it just has to come out. It's so much good info. Our trucking adventure, you team at 72 cents. See, that's really good. Can you imagine, getting 38 cents as a solo? Crazy. Aviator trucker quit tailgating. Yes, that huge accident in Wyoming, that was the problem with that. Good luck with that happening. Some reason they think if they tailgate, they're going to get there faster. Yeah, that'll help. Oh, I can go a little faster right here. Comfortable man. Swift transportation pay more than 38 cents with 10 years experience. I know. Swift doesn't pay that. We get some time in there. They're way better than 38. I've said Western Express is basically one of the lowest paying companies that I can find, and I only ever recommend people go there if some other company won't hire them. Like you have a 6 murders or you 12 DUIs or whatever it is, and places are like, no. And Western will hire you. That would get you experience. But otherwise, it's well worth looking around. 38 cents is for training. Who stays longer than that? 50 is about average. Now, hourly in California, right. You can easily, 10 years experience, make a call and get a big raise. What's a good starter company? Oh, where'd I go off to? Oh, just got your CDL. I've done research, but still undecided. Yeah, well, what do people think about that? I made 40 cents a mile and 50 cents for Northeast at 8 months and 6 months in flatbed. 40 starting and average 3,000 miles. So you're making better money too. There's nobody making less than that, I don't think, especially at 10 years. Is anybody driving here that's got 10 years experience making less than 38 cents a mile on here right now? I doubt it. It bugs me when they give you a half-cent raise. And to think over a year, 780. Yeah, here's a half a cent or 8/10 of a cent. That'd be better. Chef Matt. I like where I'm at. For me, snow removal is my bonus in the sense that I enjoy the money's not necessary to make a living for me. Yeah, look, if you like it, perfect. I think, though, even a job that you like, eventually the pay's so low, you got to be like, forget this. I can volunteer and almost make this much money. Jerry, good afternoon. Time for chicken and watermelon. That sounds great. You never bring any up here, though. You all keep it all to yourself. The only thing that can survive in a body full of roller wieners, I don't know about that. It might be the only person willing to tolerate. That's not great. What is the last time anybody was given a trailer and a big distribution center went to go pick it up? It's not there and spend the next hour looking for your trailer. That happens all the time, right? I don't know why companies don't track their equipment. You get at a company and they're like, I don't know, it's probably the last we heard it was over there. Go find it. I'm like, aren't these things expensive? Don't you track them or whatever? Big Stop, 4 years in at 54 cents a mile for company driver. Yikes. That's way better. Imagine 10 years and you're getting 38 cents. That's more like it. My advice is, if the only company you can work for, you don't even get into trucking, this is the worst experience ever. Oh, well, I don't right. That's the problem, too. And so you're thinking maybe you shouldn't even be trucking. And that's what Western Express brings to people. People think after a little while there, they think, wow, maybe I shouldn't even be trucking. And so people get out of the industry. Hopefully you'll make through another couple months. And look, you can start calling companies now and talk to them about it. Say, this is the story. And, this is what's going on. And that'll at least give you hope. Like, oh, I can get a lot more money. Don't drive sleepy. I-40 westbound in New Mexico is closed for a while this Sunday. Who was driving? Oh, was this that truck driver that crossed the line and hit that car? Is that what you're talking about? I did read something about that. Driver, they think, a truck driver fell asleep, crossed the center line, killed a person in their car. 61 years old, smashed into a car, killed him. Crazy. Because you're tired to get a load. There's no way is that worth it. You killed somebody. That could be his family. That's our family. That could be somebody. Don't do that. Please. I see this at night, people weaving around. Pull over. Captain Flippin, put your people at 28% of the load plus benefits. Yeah, to have benefits at a place like yours is pretty good. And right now they should be doing good, right? Loads are really up. I don't have prices today, but they've been up lately. 5 years, 69 cents as a company driver, Brian. That's really high. That is a really high pay. That's more than I normally see. Nathaniel makes 60 cents with 10 years. So imagine going from 38 cents, 22 cent raise. That'd be crazy money. 2-cent raise is only $44 raise on a 2,200 mile week. Yeah, that's over $2,000 a year though. That's $2,000 a year. Chris Keller, how am I doing? Great. Woke up today. Like I always say, that's a good start of a day. The rest of the day is going to be great. More people should live in the truck a couple years and retire early. Well, retire from living in it. Hello, Mark from New Hampshire. Hope all is well. Handsome Poochie. Yeah, everything's doing great. Got 16 years experience in making 52 cents a mile. Right. Can you imagine getting 38 cents? You got to think back a lot of years before you can get to 38 cents. Jerry, Paul at Celadon stealing money this weekend. The real Big John Trucking. The $12.75 is net, and that's still not great. I could probably do better, but I like getting home regularly. Some guys say they make more than that, and I'll see how it does next month. All I'm saying is that $12.75 is not bad money, but when you own the truck, you're not having any benefits, number one, for $12.75. And there are plenty of company drivers on here making that or more every week and without any risk. You've put in risk and you're not getting paid for risk, the risk of the truck. And like you're 4 days down, like I'd get paid for those 4 days. Now for me, they just give me another truck. But policy would be whenever I break down, I get paid until I'm rolling. So I would get paid. You sat and didn't get paid, and that's the problem. Because of that risk, you should make more when you're working. At least 50% more than a good company driver, I think, for all the risk, just for the risk. So $12.75 is not a super good week for somebody that leases the truck, or maybe didn't lease it, but buys their own truck and puts it on somewhere. I don't think. Just because of risk. The police found an abandoned Volvo pulling a reefer load with 63 illegals. Really? I did not hear about. I hope they at least had their reefer on so they could pull these people out alive and send them back. They put dummy stacks to confuse the California carb. They'll stand there with the exhaust stiffer for 5 minutes wondering where they're getting. I'd tell them the other side because I don't want them aggravated at me. I'm already being inspected as it is. Let's see. Dustin checking in from Oklahoma. Poppy weather here. Yeah. Oklahoma 40 through Texas and to Oklahoma City looked pretty bad on the maps. How come my rugged good looks don't pay the bills? You're just not selling them in the right place. No reason to drive sleepy nowadays, Michael. No reason ever to drive sleepy, right? Let's get it parked. We don't want to be killing anybody, and plus, it isn't really that good for you. I bet the guy hoping to make 76 cents after 20 years, he'll be at like 41 cents if he stays another 10 years. I wish I could have talked to that guy. I'd be like, why are you still here after 10 years? Of course, wouldn't see him because I don't work there. New Mexico's always messed up. There was a shooting on 40 a week or so ago. Oh, great. So we're not being shot. People are crossing the center line. A Prime driver, owner-operator brings home $1,800. Prime take their money before you get yours. Well, of course. You're building Prime for them. That's how it always is. The cartel left them for dead. I make $1,400 net as a company driver, Roger Moore. That's what I'm saying. You can get that kind of money you can get without owning the truck. I could see if you're like, oh, I get $2,000, $2,500. Then I'm like, all right, well, for the risk, you're making the cheddar. That's what the kids say these days. But for the risk, at $12.75, you basically really bought yourself a job. Now, if you really like the job or something, that's one thing. But that's not enough money to convince me to go buy a truck. And that's the real reason I don't really own a truck. I don't think that way you can make more money. Now, there are people that do make more money as owner operators, but I don't think that's that much more money. And if you can net $1,400, company driver, you have workman's comp, right? You have all these things. Oh, I don't need that. You do. If you fall or get hurt or whatever, you're going to wish you had workman's comp. Believe me. They were there. They were live, but cartel was probably not going to let them out. Those people with 63 illegals had them 3 days in the reefer. Only gave them a pizza and an apple. That's what it looks like here. What the heck? That person that did that should be arrested, of course, and still everybody in the trailer gets sent back. You made less than that at Prime. You were there a year. $1,700 to $2,100 net teaming. I just saw a job. I can't remember who it was. Seems like Matt's was the name on the company. Wasn't the truck show. It was some. Anyhow, they had a $2,100 net salary, or a $2,100 gross, I should say, salary for teams from Indianapolis to Ogden, Utah. It was just on Craigslist. So you ran that route and you were home every week and you got $2,100 salary for it. That's over $100,000. That's not bad. Punk Shock Rock. Let's see. LP here at my company pays 65% of the load plus 100% fuel. Generally get $2,300 to $3,000. Took 3 months to get there, but it was worth it. That's more like it. If you're doing $2,300, then by yourself, now we can make some money, and now it's worth it to me. The risk is paying out. A 42-ton grain hauler took out a 114-year-old 14-ton bridge. Brilliant. Apparently God sued them and settled for $460,000 to rebuild the bridge. Nice. Oh, a cookie and an apple. Okay. Well, pizza would have been better. A prime is actually the cartel. I don't know about that. There's no information about that. Stephen, owner-operator is basically gambling. It is, but that's the only way you get success is by taking a risk, right? The more you want to make, the bigger the risk you got to take, which rhymed, by the way, which I love. And I agree. It's a risk. Everything is a risk. I'm not willing to take that risk, so if I break down, I get paid. If you want to take that risk, though, it should come with some kind of reward. If it isn't, if you're just like, oh, I make as much as a company driver, then I don't know if the risk is worth it. Handsome Poochie. Prime's paying 56 cents a mile as a company doing Northeast Regional. Are you one of those light trucks? Making as much, if not more, than a lease driver, but still have the benefits. The lease, well, at Prime, the lease is super expensive. Like, super expensive. I've seen people $1,300 a week. That's crazy. You can buy a nice car for that. But no, seriously, 56 cents? Right. Now we're making some money as a company driver, full benefits, vacation, paid holidays, and all that kind of stuff. Right. Oh, we got sued. It was a typo. I know. It's still funny. The way I saw it, I go, oh, that's still pretty funny. I'm going to say it. So this tanker driver, right? I just did a video about this last week. He's getting charged for that Minneapolis protest. And I will say all the news sites now, including the trucking news sites, which I'm sad about, are saying he drove straight into the protesters. All they're doing is copying, paste this over there. They're just put it out there rather than actually looking at what happened. So all they're saying on the news sites, he drove straight into the protesters and now he's going to be charged and all. That's all ridiculous. Nobody can drive into anyone on the interstate. They're not supposed to be in the interstate. How about that? He got on the interstate, like I say, in an open ramp, and he's going to be charged for it. So this is where we're headed to as a country. Aviator trucker yard move is okay if a company moves the yard. Must clear with the DOT before moving any office furniture. Right. Taco soup and Doritos. Oh, that wouldn't be bad. Lease makes no sense. Company driver paying the bills. Most of the places that do the leases is you're basically paying their truck payment for them. There aren't too many where you lease from the carrier and can expect to make any kind of money. And I will say, when we go to watch Cassius King Trucking, an owner-operator, right, he's getting 80% of the loads. So that is, imagine going from, 60, 70% to 80% of the load. That's way more money, and that's the way to do it. What about using a dispatching service? Yeah, if you had your own authority, that wouldn't be any problem, right? You can hire a dispatching service, which they have. Absolutely. But if you lease the truck from a carrier, you're not going to be able to pick up loads from somewhere else, like a Colonial or Prime or any of these, where you lease the truck from them and say, oh, I found a load over here. You're not going to be able to get that load. They're going to be like, no, that's not how that works here. Big Huge, my company you work for gets 59 cents and get 3,000 miles a week plus drop-in hooks and sweep outs. Oh, nice. They pay for sweep outs, and you should do pretty good. Yeah, right. That's $1,800. You're right. Depending on all this extra stuff, some weeks you're going to close in on $2,000. That's really good. It's not a protest. It's a riot. Yeah, but not a quiet riot. Remember, it's not a lie if you believe it. Oh, that's true. If you say it enough, that's what they always say. A lie becomes the truth. Anybody in a trucker tray, anybody in Pennsylvania should check out Smith and do the Walmart. Yeah, Walmart account for Smith is 65 cents as a company driver. Nice trucks. Right, perfect. Chris Keller, police need to bring an airport fire truck on and start spraying the cannons. I actually said that, right, and the wife's like, oh, they can't do that. I said, yeah, get the big hoses out and hose everybody right off the road, right? That's how you get the roads cleaned up. You take the trash off it. I wouldn't be crazy about leasing. However, wouldn't mind running a blocker for the snowman at the first truck. Maybe some air tankers. No, but they'll still be there. They'll just be wet. If you're not teaming, stay as a company driver. All right. Okay, I didn't know this. GP Transco pays 80% plus fuel. All right, but they don't lease. Well, maybe they do. I don't know if they lease trucks. far as I know, they don't lease any trucks. Maybe they do. Dominican truck driver, when he said 10 years, I spit up my soda. I mean, yeah, I'd be like, if he's not training, is he training? It's still not a lot of money, but I mean, is he at least training people? Can we at least say that? So there's some reason so that he would actually be worth being there all that 10 years. But then, you're almost complicit in what they're doing. You're training people at a company that doesn't pay anything. That's not great. Also by my former Prime driver, that Prime took part of the fuel surcharge from the lease drivers. How would they do that? The fuel surcharge, I think, should go 100% to the person paying the fuel. I guess you can agree to whatever you want in the contract, but who would agree to that? Why should Prime get any of the fuel? My company tells me sick days are included in my yearly pay vacation. I get 1 week per year after 5 years with the company. Will be 10 days. Is that legal? Yeah, absolutely. There's no requirement for paid vacation. Now, I'm not an attorney, which I should say. But no, in the Fair Labor Standards Act doesn't cover vacation. So as far as I know, you don't have to get any vacation. So California, of course, who knows? They may have some kind of different law. I would say they don't have to give you any vacation. The riders in Louisville said they'll be there all through the winter. Really? It's getting cold out. People don't like to be out in the cold. We'll see. We'll see how far that goes. It's nice that they have all this time to do this, too, without working. Swift motto, we pay your detention when you get your pension. Oh, that's pretty good. That'd be a good thing on there. GP does have a lease program. I didn't even know that. They don't advertise that anywhere, even on their site, that you can lease a truck from them. I asked him again, and he said 10 years. I was so confused. Yeah, I'd be like, really? Hey, Mark, Alexandra, sorry I'm late. Friend has coming out issues. Okay. Well, there's your cat. Right. You just got it. It's good to see you here today. I recommend Mercer or Landstar for owner-operator. All right. That might be a way to do it. There's lots of different ways to go through it. I just don't like leasing from the carrier. I don't think that you make enough when you lease the truck from them, and they control too much of your day. Bendix is a great starter company. They have many brakes, too. Oh, great. That's great. I'm like, do they have Bendix trucks? It seems like I've seen them. Hello, Sea Hill. Hello, good trucking day in Georgia on the Atlanta corridor on 85. Better than a lot of people, right? We got, 90? 80 in Wyoming is a problem. 90 and 15 in Montana is a problem. Steel Horse, I saw a video of a water cannon. It looked like Europe. Nobody stood a chance. That'd be pretty good. It would clean the road up, and we can get back to transporting interstate commerce as, should be allowed on the interstate system. The real Big John Trucking, GP doesn't have a lease purchase, only a never plan. What's a never plan? Is that like from Never Land? I don't know what that is. I never saw a lease purchase, but hey, I don't know. People that say, oh, Mark, you work for them. I don't work for them. Oh, there was a driver. Did you see this? He got the COVIDs. He got the Ronas. He just got out of the hospital. He'd been in the hospital 85 days. Now, they didn't say his name or anything. They kept his name private or whatever. He was in the hospital for 85 days, part of that on life support. This is why I encourage people to have health insurance. Can you imagine the bill you are going to get for 85 straight days in the hospital, including some of them on life support? Think about that. And if you were leasing a truck or buying a truck or whatever, if you didn't have some way to cover 85 days of bills, you're finished. You're finished. 85 days. That's where your short and long-term disability comes into. That's why I encourage people to get it so that your pay can continue while you don't continue working. 85 days in the hospital. My dad had like a triple bypass in 2000 maybe, and that bill was $180,000 or something. I couldn't believe that bill. I cannot imagine what 85 days in the hospital would cost. Think about that, because that could be any of us. Would it be considered assault to use a water cannon on peaceful protesters? Not to me. No one is peaceful when they are impeding interstate commerce in violation of the Hobbs Act. So, no. Felons, I would not consider that to be assault. The driver never owns the truck and never makes any money. the real Big John Trucking. I think $12.75 net is not bad money. All right, that's not like it's bad money or anything. But the problem, okay, vacation, the other thing. So if you make it $12.75, that's a company driver pay, but you can't take a time off. So and certainly as a lease driver, you're not getting any paid holidays. So on those days, if you don't run, you're not paid. And paid vacations and all this. Here we had a driver getting 2 weeks. Here, as a lease driver, you never get any of these things paid. You have to save up for them. And that's why I think you should make more money also if you expect to ever take any time off. Kelly, what thing Prime Tracking is a master of the art of ripping off people? Yeah, exactly. Prime has perfected the art of hosing every driver. They're getting the drivers to pay the truck payments there. They're brilliant at it. Aviator trucker, wife. Car won't start. Think it's water in the carburetor. Husband, where's the car? Oh, at the bottom of the lake. Nice. Carburetor, too. There's a blast from the past. Gear Jammer from Bowling Green, Kentucky, home of the Corvette, which the Corvette plant just opened up. They closed for the COVIDs, too, for a week. If you saw this, places are closing. El Paso, Texas is recommending people stay in for 2 weeks. They recommend people stay in for 2 weeks. They're not mandating it yet, but are recommended. Ireland did close for 6 weeks. No one can go more than 5 kilometers from their house. 5 kilometers, okay? That's about 3.2 miles, 3.1 miles. And they said they'll have police checkpoints to enforce it for 6 weeks in Ireland. Chicago has a 10 p.m. curfew, and I actually told the wife, I go, oh, that's brilliant. There won't be any more crime at night. So that's awesome. There are some other European cities had a nightly curfew. Yeah, Mayor Lori Lightfoot came out and said 10 p.m. curfew in Chicago. I'm like, oh, well, that's going to be great. All the crime will end. That's not super nice. How's Prime ripping people off? I thought they were one of the better starting companies. Stephen Burge, they're ripping people off on the leases, in my opinion, right? The leases. To start there, I don't like the team training deal, but it does pay more than Western Express at 38 cents, certainly. But I've gotten a ton of these kind of emails, and there's tons of people that talk about this on here as well. When you go to solo out and you get your own truck, well, it turns out they don't have any trucks. You could lease a truck, but then they may not have a truck to give you, and so they'll send you home for a few weeks, or where they go, well, in a few weeks we'll try and get a truck or whatever, and that's the problem, and that's kind of how they force you into it. Not really, but then they force you into it, and that's the problem. I met a dude with a never planted at the manhole, and they kicked them right out. I don't understand where we are here. I'm probably in my extreme upper 30s. I'm not getting it. Charles, if I had to spend more than 30 days in the hospital, I'd tell them to just pull the plug. I'm not paying the bill. Well, he was on life support, so I guess he can't talk on part of it. I don't think you want to be killed rather than face a large bill. What would happen, certainly, is if you didn't have insurance to cover this, you'd just have to go bankrupt. Or tell them I'm not paying it, and so sue me. And if they did, I guess you just bankrupt. Because how much is it going to be 85 days? $2 million? $3 million? Plus life support and all? I mean, it's easy going to be over $1 million. I could see that easily. Over $1 million. Now, they saved his life, certainly. So there's that to think about, too. Hello from Greenville, South Carolina, Ryan. All right. The person's probably going to get a $1 million hospital bill, Kelly. At least, right? 85 days is easily $1 million. Easily. And when they send it, I'd say, oh, okay, who do you want me to write the check out to? Here we go. I'm going to post-date this check, though, for 50 years from today, I'd say. Western Express is the place to go if you're a felon. Chris, I agree. That's where people write to me like that and say, look, I have these felonies or I have these problems. And then, yeah, and they'll say, I've called several other major larger companies and they won't take me. I said, well, call Western Express and see if they'll take you. That's something that gets you back in the game and experience, and then you can move over to something better. Yes. Paul Cruz, Optiva Walk Fit. All right, change my name. Was Keto Walk Fit. All right. Helping truckers lose weight and get into shape. That's pretty awesome. That's awesome. That's what we're all going to do here. Roger Moore, Beetlejuice Lightfoot is a criminal. Nice. She got elected mayor out there. What do you recommend for 5 years experience? Great Plains Transport, Mountain, or Central Oregon? Well, it depends. Do you want to run a flatbed? I mean, at Great Plains, we're not going to have to do as much work. And they'll fill your face one time, right, to get you started. But certainly, of those two, for non-reefer, go for Great Plains out of those three. And refrigerated, hey, hit Central Oregon Transport. They're one of the top companies to work for. And that's the way to do it. But it's not... I don't know if they actually take you at Central Oregon without flatbed. You'd have to talk to them. You don't need flatbed experience at Great Plains Transport. You're never ever going to own a lease truck, Kevin. Yeah, what they do, they want you to train. And so, yeah, great. Steelhorse 3.2-mile radius, no stores at all, just fields and woods. Well, the question is, do you have 6 weeks of food in your home? Food and water and other supplies then. They actually said that they're going to have police monitoring that. And I don't know what you do if you say, look, I'm out in the country. It's just the fields, What am I supposed to do? So, but that's what it said, 6 weeks. And that could be coming here. Who knows? We just got like some kind of record Rona cases, right? Kelly, I was in the hospital for less than a day to have stents put in your arteries and the legs, and it cost you $16,000. Holy mackerel. What are they made out of, platinum or something? Man. Thank God for medical insurance, no doubt. All right, so can you imagine 85 days of that? That's crazy. That's bigger than you can do in your head when you went to public school like me. How about Melton? I'd go to Central Oregon over Melton if you had experience, certainly. So they're going to treat you way more like a professional than Melton is going to. $60,000 for a stent? Oh, must be. Is it one of those medicated stents? That's crazy. The work truck show's been canceled. This is a show where they show ambulances and dump trucks and everything. It's in Indianapolis. It's in March of next year, and they canceled it. They said that Indianapolis won't be safe till 2022. That's what the work truck show said. So that's another show canceled. That's a big show that goes on every year in Indianapolis. Matt's is still on as of right now. But I'll tell you this. I don't think it's going to go. That's my opinion. I think that it's not going to go. Tickets don't go up till December 1st. I personally think it'll get canceled before then, so they don't have to print a bunch of tickets out. We'll see what happens. If it's on, I'm still going. Alexandra, I hauled dry van the other day for the first time in nearly 3 years. I didn't know they had dry vans over there. What do you think? Isn't it pretty awesome? No temperatures to mess with. You don't have to fill up the trailer. That was always my biggest problem. Refrigerated, really, was filling up the trailer. Y'all refrigerated drivers have this problem. The person in front of you never pulls up enough. Even sometimes when there's room up there, they just barely clear the pumps, and then I can't get the trailer filled up. That was always probably the biggest thing I had. I like running them, but that was always the biggest problem. So you're back to dry van there. Pretty awesome, huh? I got a $2.5 million bill for a liver transplant, John. Wow. A friend of mine had a liver and kidney transplant. He had a double transplant, and he is still getting bills in the millions of dollars. He barely made it. Barely. They only gave him 5% chance. He was so sick. But he did live through it. And the sad thing is you have to wait. You're waiting for somebody to die, basically, to get your organs. But he waited for that and got his organs and is alive today and doing much better. The bill's crazy, and he can't work, so they know they're not going to get any money because you're disabled. So Alexander's glad to be back hauling reefer. Yeah, but van, it's so much easier. What, do they have a few dry vans over there or something? Or where'd you pick that thing up? After the election, watch everything open up and people acting like nothing ever happened. We're going to see right here in a few weeks what happens. We'll see. Just past the Corvette Museum. I wonder how much dirt it took to fill in that hole. I know. A bunch of Corvettes fell down a big sinkhole down there a few years ago. A total disaster. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. Paul Cruz, I think the Democrats are preparing people for the outbreaks so they could double down next week when he wins next week. Is it next week? Oh, I guess it is already. Try and lock down America as punishment? Well, we'll see what happens with that. I like pulling an end dump. No wait times other than the couple minutes tops you wait for a loader. Unload very quick. That's pretty good too. That's a good way to do it. I kind of like dropping and hooking. There's generally not a lot of waiting in that either. That's another good way to do it. If you can get on a run where it's drop and hook everywhere, then that's another way to do it. Okay, here's somebody who did not go to public school. Michael Swan, $60,000 a day times 85 days is $5.1 million. The funny thing is they sing you these bills. Like my friend who doesn't work, because when you're super sick, you can barely move, waiting for your organs. So he's not working, and then gets his organs out, and they send this gigantic bill to him, like Who's going to pay that? And it's funny, it comes with the bottom of it where you can tear it off to send in like your payment coupon. Oh, you just tear this off, make your $5.1 million check out to, Tampa Hospital or wherever he was, somewhere in Florida. I don't know what hospital it was. And thank you very much. Like anybody does that. Oh, all right. Well, let's see, 8.5. And you put that little squiggly line so they don't add any extra zeros or whatever. Yeah, come on. Alex, your company hauls reefer and dry van. All right. But Alexander, I didn't know they had those. Yeah, we got some dry vans and a few bulk food tankers. Really? Oh, you need to get one of those going too. Then you get well-rounded, they'll have you do everything. I thought it was all refrigerated over there. Going to Western Express, if you're a felon, I would have stayed locked up instead. You're better off. You're probably freer that way. I didn't know that they were one of those places, I kind of figured, I guess, that do the fuel routing. So Western, the Dominican truck driver, they tell you where to fuel, what truck stop to fuel, and do they tell you how many gallons to get? Because that would aggravate me even more. But look, if you are a felon and can't get in somewhere else, you may not have any choice but to go to a company like that and kind of just wait it out. It's kind of like you're almost on parole, but you still have an ankle monitor and have to check in every day with your parole officer, who is your dispatcher there. When you get your bill, use whiteout to erase a few zeros. Oh, here's $51. Thank you very much for the new organs I got. I cannot imagine $60,000 for an outpatient, almost. Holy moly. Do they just make stuff up? I think they're just a room where they just make stuff up. They have like a random number generator. Oh, okay. Generate a 5-digit random number. The doctor that performed the surgery was rated #1 in the world. I didn't know they had a rating system. He's the Martina Navratilova of doctors. Had 3 stents put in with each iliac artery and the abdominal artery. Really? I go, how much would it be to have like the number 8 doctor in the world do this? I mean, I'll take my chances. I'm just saying. I didn't know how do they rate each other, which is kind of funny. And okay, I get it. You're going to pay more, but do they expect people to pay that without insurance? When I need to fill my reefer, I always tell the guy in front of me to pull up all the way past the line before you go inside to get your wieners. And they're always like, hey, shut up, driver. Stupid. That's all they are. They don't care. It's just all you pull up and there's a truck there or whatever. It's just kind of aggravating to have to fill them. Now, so you hope for a load, either that's not temperature controlled or that is start-stop load, so that you only have to fill it once in a while. Howard, in 2004, 30 days in the hospital, 7 days in ICU coma, $333,000, worth every penny, right? Look, I'm not saying it isn't worth the money. And like I said, my friend is still alive because of it. Your life is saved. And this driver who spent 85 days in the hospital, he's going to be alive. He got discharged. He's going home. They only give him 20% chance to live, but he is living. It's worth it, but most people can't pay it. Most people, if you asked them to, probably couldn't write a check for like $5 million right now. Most people that went in the hospital. So probably this truck driver probably doesn't have $5 million saved up. That's a real problem. They're probably just going to take whatever his insurance pays and work some kind of small thing out with him, because they know if they file a court case for $5 million, you're going to go bankrupt on it. Alex, Western does tell you how much to get. Oh my God, how aggravating is that? Stop here and get 43 gallons. Oh, is it ever under 50 so you don't even get a shower? You get a half a shower. Hey, Misty is here. What's up, Trucking Answers? Love you long time. We love you long time. CFI fuel routes you and limits gallons. Is it over 50 gallons? Somebody tell me at least 50 gallons so that I can get a full shower. Alexander, all the bulk tankers are assigned to day cabbers. Oh, okay. I thought you could maybe drag one of those around. Are they labeled too? I mean, it's crazy. Paul Cruz, my random number for 2,000 Freightliner is 350,000 tankers. Yeah, we'll just write a check for that. Here's a check. Cassius King Trucking has a good lease too. He's got a international. He's going to put a second driver on. People interested, you could talk to him directly about this. He's got an international with the Max Force engine that he's willing to lease out for about $1,000 a week, I think. Yeah, so pretty good deal over there. They get rid of the truck with a shower bag after they pull up. Yeah. Pride Fuel routes you, but only limits fuel in California. That's, Misty, I guess that's understandable, because I remember places would have a book and say, okay, only get 50 gallons of California or whatever because they want you filling up on the border. I could see that. One state, I can understand that because you can fill up in Reno or you fill up in Yuma or whatever going in, and she should have plenty to get around. But this crazy filling up all around the country with 43 gallons at a time, how aggravating is that? Then you also don't get to decide your day. So they have you stop somewhere. Maybe I wasn't going to stop there, but now I have to stop there because that's the fuel route, or I have to call them and beg them to let me fuel somewhere else. Oh my gosh. George Wilson, I'm fleeting 43.6 gallons. I know. Then you only get a half a shower. I'm fascinated with movies of the future. You're always given the choice of life or termination. Yeah, right. Remember, I can't think of that more. Logan's Run. That's a good one. UC Davis Medical Center in Sacramento is a minimum of $25,000 per day. Oh, well, that's nice of them. And that's for a standard room. I'd say, can I get an upgraded room? Sounds like the drivers for Western Express, because of their previous predicament, would be used to someone telling them where to eat and where to sleep. Donkey bite. I agree, but look, once you're out, you're out. Okay, you did your time. There shouldn't be more time at a job that tells you that stuff, right? You're back out and you're back in society and you want to work. You're not committing crimes. You're trying to find a job, which is great. So then Western, here, go get 43.6 gallons. Oh, so you have to stop there. I have to wait in line. I have to wait in line behind 4 trucks because it's the place to make me stop. Then I get 40 gallons. I can't even get a shower, a half a shower. What a mess. Searingly used to tell me how many gallons to get. I used to fill it all the way regardless. Luke, what did they do about that? From what I understand, some of them cut off the card. It only gives you so many gallons. Okay, we're going to try this. Dondrea Howard. I think I did okay on that. After CDL training, I want to drive tankers. All right. I was thinking about going to Schneider for the tanker program. Are there other companies? There are not too many companies that train in tankers. I will say that. Anybody have a tanker training company where you can go in with no tanker experience? Can we please get a Western Express dispatcher to tell some stories? Oh, yeah. Somebody at Western Express, tell them to get on the show. Chef Matt, number one reason that truck drivers tend to be grumpy is because they're a hermit looking for a hermit. They're a bunch of grumps a lot of the time. Just smile. Well, it is what leads you to driving, right? Not liking crowds or being in an office or whatever. Here you get the open road, right? Kind of, convoy movie style. Kelly made transportation also micromanagers with fuel routing and regular routing. It's super annoying. You must fuel here and you must get so many gallons here. That's super annoying. I don't want to deal with that. Misty, my company doesn't fuel route me or limit where I get fuel. And so that makes your day better, right? I have the same thing. So the day works out better. I get to decide where to fuel and how much to get. So that works out better. I can plan my day better. I don't want them planning my day because now I have to stop somewhere that might have a line or I might not have gone there. Some of you out there are a real mess. Yeah, that's some drivers. Alex, from what I remember, they'll tell you to fill up half a tank, 3/4 a tank, or top off. Well, how do I know which that is filling up at the pump? Pilot or Flying J, look, if they would just say fill up at any Pilot or Flying J, I'd be okay with that. Where they're saying just you pick which one it is and get however much you want. That's better. Then I can decide my day. May Transportation tells you how much fuel to get at each of your stops. That's so aggravating. Just telling you which one, but then also 40 gallons. Now I know I got to stop later and get 50 gallons. Who are they kidding? Am I not right on this for some owner-operator to tell me this? When you overpay in a state, right, you get that back through IFTA. Right, so if you buy too much here, it goes back here. It doesn't make that much difference. Am I not correct about that? Chris, Art Burke from Maestro Truckers blew up his apartment. I know I talked about that last week. Trying to make weed and got 18 months house arrest. He actually was trying to make, which I think I wrote down here. Art Burke. It was called Shatter. Yeah, it was Shatter, and I don't know what that was. Apparently, it's some weed product. Yeah. He could do his house arrest in cab of his truck. What does that tell you? The real Big John Trucking. I got a buddy at Prime doing tanker and training as a company driver. Regularly pulls 2,000 or more a week, but east of the Mississippi. That's pretty good. Company driver, that's pretty good. Of course, he's training, though. That takes 2 of them. Occasionally, England would cut the card off if you went 5 gallons past the limit. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these places limit the card. Because we can't have you doing, all this extra, we get extra fuel. Paul Cruz looking to Keenan Advantage Group, which is KAG. For tanker, they haul fuel and other products. Oh, that wouldn't be a bad deal. Because there's just saw an ad for Circle K needs drivers for their tankers. So it didn't say what it paid, though. Dominican truck driver, yes, you have to fuel where they say, and you better check all your trips because they sometimes forget to pay for all of them. Oh, they just accidentally forget to pay it. Sorry. That should all be computerized. They shouldn't have to do anything. Alexandra, over here, no forced routing and no forced fuel stops. So nice, right? You get to plan your day. They actually treat you like you know what you're talking about. Like, oh, Alexandra knows how to get to places. Just go. Isn't that much better? I think that's better. That should be how they all work. Companies don't realize how much time a good driver can save them. You can get more work done because I know I'm not going to go into that Pilot because I know there's always 40 trucks there. I'll go somewhere else. Kevin, I started years ago at Swift, would tell you where and how much fuel to get. Great. My company now, any Pilot or J, as much as you need. Makes your day easier. Right. You're like, oh, well, I know by going by this one all the time it's busy, so I'm going to go to the next one 43 miles down the road, and I'll go down there, and I'll get one of those gigantic pizza things to go. Donkey, half a show, I'm only washing the lower half. You can get your other half later, but right, Pilot, you can get a half a shower on your card, so. Chris, he's probably paying for 24-hour monitoring of cameras in his truck and tracking system, not to mention the ankle brace. That's true. He probably does have a camera. Well, no, wait. I don't know. Well, maybe because Art Burke is a criminal. I guess we could say that because he pled to this. So we can say that he is a criminal. But in Canada, the inbound camera is illegal. Maybe on him, it's not. But otherwise, they are. George Costanza, Pilot still has the dumbest points reward. Why can't they all be like gloves? Well, yeah. Who gets a half a shower? Steelhorse, you can get an IFTA refund. Okay, so I'm basically right then. So it doesn't, why are we getting 40 gallons and 80 gallons? Just let people fill up and then it all washes out it all comes out in the wash, as they say, right? I don't know if Covenant still does this, but they told us how many gallons and where. This was for a team too. Oh my gosh, really? Just wanted to run and fuel when swapping out drivers. Right, but you have to stop here, even though it's not your time, and then you have to stop again later. That wastes time. That's an extra stop that you wouldn't have because they don't know what they're doing. Roger Moore, Pride had fuel routing in gallons, but they weren't strict about it. Look, I don't even mind if they send a fuel route with you. As long as they don't make you do it. That'd be okay. Then people that want a route or want to know where there's some fuel stops on the way, it might help. That's great. Here's a route to get you there, Interstate 5, Interstate whatever, and here's where fuel would be. But as long as they don't make you follow it, I'd be okay with that because I'd check their route against the maps and think, oh, maybe that's a better way to go or something. Anything to help but not to enforce. Shoot Rooster, you're correct on fuel tax. I may have paid $2 to $3 at most for running a state too much without buying fuel there. That's what I thought. So if you buy more here and less there, it all washes out right at the end of the month or quarter or however often you have to do that. It seems like, what's the difference? True Death, do large fleets get fuel discounts for buying so much fuel? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why a lot of them limit you to a certain brand of truck stop. They'll say like that, all Pilot or Flying J, something like that. They get a discount there. And that's okay with me, right? Which it has to be. But it would be at all of them. So what's the difference which one you fuel at? They're still thinking like, years ago when all that mattered. I don't think it matters as much anymore. Dynamic Dueling Duo. Sounds like a great band name. I have all my endorsements, including a Twit card. Wow. I'm over at DriveCo, waiting to take my test, except the facility is closed due to COVIDs. Thinking of going to FedEx. Really? I don't know about ShipX. I think you need experience. Maybe. FedEx might take you? Maybe? Twit card. I have the freedom to fuel anywhere, anytime like a normal person. Alex, exactly. And doesn't that save you time, but it saves the company time. Everybody gets time saved. Christina, how much is it to rent a truck to take the test? I don't know if you can. I haven't looked into it in other states, but here in Indiana, I don't know if you can do that because you can't rent the truck without a license. So do they have a truck that the DOT rents out? That'd be interesting if they would do that. I took the truck from the truck school there because they had it there. So I don't know if you can rent a truck or not. How about just abolish it since it's theft? Well, all taxation is theft, right? That's what Joe would tell us. Joe Jorgensen. Alex, good afternoon. New here. You came up on my recommendations feed. Well, great. Thank you and welcome. I do the show every week at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. For a couple of hours, Steel Horse, they work special deals with truck stops to get discounted fuel at certain locations. That's where they pick where you feel. That stinks. You'd think it could be like a Flying J, like a flat 10 cents or whatever it is. I still don't think they're saving money, especially on a team. That truck's got to stop twice then maybe instead of once. And that extra time is just downtime that they could be used to make money for the company. And the drivers are a little bit happier. So you spend a few extra bucks, the drivers stay happier and they stay. Paul Cruz. These companies probably want you to do an extra safety check. That has to be the logic. That would be the upside to safety. Yeah, that's probably what they tell the DOT. Oh, well, the drivers do a safety check there. Nobody does. Just walk in and get your pizza. Luke, I prefer Flying J to a standard pilot, usually bigger and more amenities. Exactly. The pilots are just packed with too many mega carrier trucks fueling all the time. So try to stay out of them. Usually they're not at the Loves as much, so you usually have a better chance of getting a pump at the Loves. My company only says they prefer we fuel at Loves. That's it. Good. Good. That's the way to do it. Right. They prefer you fuel at a name brand truck stop here, but that's it. That's the end of it. Never have heard a word about it. Jason, I fuel at my local co-op since you save 40 cents over Loves down the street from my house. That's great. A co-op. I have to fuel at our yard. Do they make you fuel at the yard? Fuel at the end of every day and I'm good. If you're back every day to the yard, I guess it would be okay. They're making drivers wear masks. Are they making drivers wear masks driving or at the truck stops? The truck stops do have signs that say you need to wear a mask inside. And I do see most everyone wearing a mask in there, including me. So, of course, because of private business. So if they want you to wear a mask, I'm going to wear a mask in there. So, but driving, no. Paul Cruz in California, there's a guy that rents his truck for the DMV. Down at the West Sacramento DMV, that's only for commercial vehicles. Oh, so that's a pretty good entrepreneurial thing. Dominican truck driver, you have to send him like 5 macros to change fuel solution as a headache. I know, that kind of thing is horrible. The DOT pizza check every 200 miles. Right. Oh, well, Chris, it's local dump truck work. So for you, they're fuel at the end of the day, you're all set, right? So you're way better off than some of these people. Chef Matt, taxation is legalized robbery. I agree. There are no exceptions. Vote for your favorite Republicans and keep your taxes low. No taxation without representation was about taxes, not tariffs. Right. There shouldn't be, I think there shouldn't be any taxation. So there you go. There's that. I think Knight wants you to fuel at the yard most of the time and when you can. Paul Cruz, yeah, they might want it, but do they enforce it? I mean, do you have to go through town and like Indianapolis and go to the Knight yard and fuel, or can you just go stay on the interstate and go wherever you want? That's the question, because a lot of times the fueling at a truck yard is slow. Sometimes they have only 1 or 2 pumps, and it takes a while to fuel or whatever and get back on the road. It's not as fast as a truck stop. So only if they enforced it would I do it. Dave Johnson, my company's in bed with the Flying J because of the discount. However, I have no limit and can fuel up 4 times in a 24-hour period. If it's all of them, it's okay. That makes it a lot easier. They're all over the place. Especially since they're together. You don't have to get a T-check card or whatever that, forget the other card, right? They're everywhere. So that'd be okay with me. And 4 times a day, that should be plenty. I don't know if I can have a limit or not on number of fuels per day. Chris, I never thought about it. I saw a guy driving down the I-5 yesterday on a motorcycle wearing a disposable mask. I think that'd be an interesting thing to paint on the front of the mask. Or on the front of your helmet. That'd be pretty good. And California, no motorcycle helmet law. So, Misty, in Tennessee, there are companies that will charge you $900 to rent one for the day with a driver to get you there. Wow. I mean, I'm in for that. Somebody give me $900, I'll drive you down to the DMV. Wow. Just outside Vegas in Boulder City, there's a driving school that will test you for $1,200. Wow. With their third-party tester. That's crazy. Wow. I miss truck driving, kind of. Douglas D, it's always in you once it's in you. True Death. Do you think truck stops should encourage lot lizards to stay away from truck drivers? Well, I don't think they encourage lot lizards to come on the property, really. Hey, go on out there. Go on. Make some money. So I should encourage truck drivers to stay away from them. That'd be the way that it ends. My first truck I recovered had bed bugs. It was a mess. That's gross. The truck has to be burnt to the ground. The truck has to be burned to the ground. Where we used to live, oh gosh, a decade or more ago, before we moved over here, the apartment, it was an apartment, it was like a converted house. And the guy next to us had bed bugs, and they started coming through the walls. I'm like, what are all these? They come through the electrical outlets, and they came up the sink. They went down a sink and came up the sink. We ended up leaving, of course, and left basically everything. Couldn't take anything because I was afraid of bringing them. All the clothes got bagged and taken to a commercial washer, dryer, washed, and most of the furniture I just left. Any soft furniture had to be left. It just had to be left. And I assume they burned the building down. In Indiana, it turns out bed bugs are not a pest legally. I went to the city and to say, hey, get this landlord doing something. Nope. They go, we can't. They're not listed as a pest. Only roaches. You got a roach in there? I go, no. Oh, they go, well, can't help you. And the landlord said, sorry, not doing anything. So out we went. That's great. And that's crazy. When I worked for JB Hunt back in the 80s, they would charge us $35 if we passed a terminal and did not get fuel and then stopped later at a truck stop. Gear jammer, that's, as we know, that's not allowed. They can't deduct your wages for that. They can't fine you. They could fire you, but can't fine you. There's a corn check. Fueling at my yard is fine. Only one pump and no weight. They only have 5 trucks. Well, Chris, right. That's better off. Night, you could go in there. I assume at night there could be, I don't know how many trucks happen to be going through there at one time, right? Donkey Bike, can we come up with a game called Guess the Felony for all the Western Express? That guy looks like a murderer. Not everybody there has a felony. I assume some are not felons, just didn't know any better. You just get in the place and you're suckered into the contract and you don't know any better. And next thing you know, boom, you got a contract and you're stuck. That's the problem at the place. They don't present that. When they go to truck schools and stuff to recruit people, they should say, hey, you know what, we're the lowest paying place going. But they don't do that. Shoot Rooster in the 365. In the case of fuel discounts to the company, drivers and owner-operators working for percentage need to watch the discounts. If the company will pocket the discount after the surcharge is paid. You should get, right, all the surcharge and all that goes to you. Discount should go to you if you own the truck. Absolutely. You're the one buying it. You should get all the benefits of it. Jason Jefferson, the co-op gives me a deal because my brother-in-law raises chickens and buys all his propane and feed from them, so I use the family discount. What a connection that is. Let's see, I hear my brother-in-law raises chickens, and that's pretty good, though. Jim Trucker, happy Roller Winter Monday to all end users. Thank you for coming. I wore my motorcycle helmet in a store like it was a face shield. Yeah, if you keep the thing flipped down on it, I had a little flip-up visor on mine. I think that works just as good as anything else. Jim Trucker, sorry you came in late today. That's all right, as long as you're here. Marathon west of Fort Wayne advertised the cleanest lot of lizards in America. That was on a billboard out there. I saw that. They're tested daily. Do you ever bring your cat with you driving? Stephen Bird, no. She doesn't like the outsides. I don't ever let cats out anyway. I'm one of those people that thinks the cat should be inside. Number one cause of death for cats is being run over by cars. So taking her out, not great. I have a cat carrier. Just taking her to the car is a problem. She doesn't like it. So cat does not come with me. She basically sleeps through most of the day anyways, as they do. Josh Button, my great uncle is a retired exterminator. We had a family reunion with one of the cabins filled with bed bugs. He woke up in the camp post and drugged them to Walmart to buy the proper spray. That didn't do it for us where we were there. You just couldn't keep them because it needs to be sprayed where they are. And the whole building really recommended to be tented. It was just a disaster. I left and never looked back. What's your opinion of Xpeo Logistics? Yeah, Xpeo Logistics is hiring in Plainfield, and they are running ads. That's near the airport in Indianapolis for $70,000. So absolutely. I don't know about cameras. You'd have to ask them about that. Chris Keller, don't go to Walmart. They slip seat everyone, even the sleeper trucks. Yeah, I agree. That's one of my problems with the place, besides their goofy phone policy, is they slip seats of sleeper trucks. Even in the COVIDs, they're still slip seating sleepers. That isn't right to do to people. Okay, you kind of want the same truck if you're going to be out, because you could be out a week in that truck. And it might not be, it's just the truck. So they don't give you a new mattress. Everybody doesn't get a new mattress every time they get in a truck. No way am I doing that. Now with the bed bugs, COVIDs. Who knows? What if somebody leaves something in there, some product or whatever this stuff. What did he say it was? Oh, right. Shatter. What if they leave some shatter in there or something? You never know what's in there when it isn't your truck. So no way. Jim Trucker can't go wrong with some good lot lizards. Some old driver told me, well, that's true. Depending which one you get. When I was a company driver, I had to recover a load hooked to a tractor. The truck was so gross. I had to get a throwaway paint suit and gloves and respirator. Oh, forget that. Don't forget this. Tell them to come and get it themselves. I liked Xpeo when they owned CFI. They had cameras. See that? I do think that it's almost impossible now to get away from them. That most major companies, and a major company I would consider a company that has, say, more than 50 trucks, are probably going to have them in the next few years. Because here, it's us. This accident that just happened in Wyoming and Nebraska, this 15-vehicle accident, I mean, this is why they put cameras in the trucks. Why isn't anybody paying attention to what they're doing? We've almost brought it on ourselves. And not everybody. It only takes a small percentage of people to bring it on everybody. How many lawsuits they're going to be in that? Kelly, I think there's a company out there that uses fuel routing, but you can do your own if you want. But if you use it, they pay you extra for it. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's a pretty good idea. Here's the route. If you follow this route, you get extra money. All right. Now we got a choice. I like that even better. Here's the route. Use it and you get paid. If you don't get this extra money. That is a great idea. And I bet people would just do it then. That's how you get people to do it. Pay them. They paid me $250 just to hook and move it over. Gross. $250, that's 2 COVID tests right now. So I just saw a fast test for $125 that you can get apparently. So that would be 2 of those tests. And you talk about paying, right now, what is going on? The ATA virtual conference is going on. They had this retention part and pay. They didn't discuss pay at all. In fact, I've been watching it all week, not watching the thing, but watching what they post about it. Pay is never posted. Driver retention, they never talk about pay. How to keep people, the best way to do stuff with people. Pay is not part of what they mention there. Corey Harvey, 1989. Come to West Virginia, our lot lizards are top of the line and eager to work due to the lack of meaningful employment in the area. Alexandra, speaking of leaving things in trucks, I glued a dido to the dash. Yeah, we'll say that is a bird that was glued there. And that would be really great. So that is the bird that has been extinct. Okay, this under 21. Remember we talked about an under 21 program to hire people that are 18 to 21 years old, a pilot program. Okay, well, the FMCSA came out now. This is hilarious. I find this super hilarious. And said, look, we're going to have to extend the 3-year program. Why? They're not getting anybody to do it. 42 companies are signed up to do this. They're allowed to do this. They wanted 30,000 people enrolled in this program. They have 200. Hilarious. They can't even get drivers to do it. They said they're not going to get enough meaningful data. They're trying to track on whether it's safer or not. They wanted 30,000. They have less than 2. That's less than 5. That's about 5 drivers or less per company. They got to drag an 18-year-old in. Even the teenagers are smart enough to go, hey, wait a minute. There's something wrong with this. You know, the teenagers are probably talking about it on the TikToks and all that stuff. They can't get anybody to do it. That I thought was super funny. George Wilson, there's a guy in Elk Grove Village. They'll rent you a 5-axle 18-wheeler Freightliner Cascadia, synchronized, synchromesh, 6-speeds, just like a Honda Accord. That's pretty interesting. When I took my test, I had a 3-axle tractor. It was a small Ford tractor, and a 26-foot pup, maybe a 24-foot pup. It was an old pup, and it had a 5-speed synchro transmission. It was shifted like a car, 5-speed. You know, so you didn't have to double clutch it, but although then there wasn't a difference there weren't really automatics. So, but it shifted, so you didn't miss your shifts. That's why they let you take it, because the goal at the truck school, which they probably still are, is to get you your license. That's the thing. And it did get you your license. It qualified. It's a combination vehicle. So it qualified for a Class D license then, which would be an A license now. Kelly, you could write a track to take the test by you after you have another CDL holder there. Yeah, I mean, for the money that these people are doing, yikes. Adam Ingram, oh, you made it. Good, Ingram. Roger Moore, stiff bird. That's my idea of a good time. Exactly. Extinct. Nathaniel, hey, Mark, I just noticed Cash King Trucking is live again. Competing against a live stream. What do I think about that? Oh, you dirty rat. That stuff never bothers me, right? People can, whenever they're free to go live, right, the more the merrier. That's what I say. So absolutely no problem. That's awesome. Truck Hershey, good example. Load to Dallas to Sheboygan. Routed to Oklahoma City and up I-44. Going on I-30, 47. Mandatory fuel stops. Right. Exactly. That was the good thing about not being routed too. So if you got a load from the Midwest going to Sacramento or whatever, you didn't have to run 80. I've run 54 across there and come back up because of the snow. So it just depended. I do remember leaving out there on Ghirardelli Chocolates. I loved going to that place, right? And that went over to Hershey in St. Louis, out to Edwardsville. Right, Edwardsville. And I left with another guy, and he's like, oh, I'm going across 80. I said, you're crazy. Do you not look at the weather? And he's like, oh, that doesn't bother me or what. I said, well, I'm going south. And I went all the way south. This came out of San Francisco, right? Did I say that? And I came up 54, and I beat him. I asked the guard, you seen this other guy? No. He goes, you're the first one I've seen. I go, exactly. I never did see him. Chris, I took my test in a 74 Mac R model day cab with a little Mac motor and a 5+4 pulling a 40-foot flatbed. What did they think about that when you showed up with that thing there? Holy mackerel. Learn manual to test on now. Yes. Christina Cash's gig should be here. Kenneth, in West Virginia, how can you tell the difference between a high-quality lot lizard and a regular street woman who's cracked up and drunk? Well, because they're licensed. They're licensed. Kevin, your ratings are always the highest. Good luck, King. Yeah, it's people. Sometimes I'll get those kind of questions. Oh, not from him, but from other. I'm going to do a show at the same time your show. What do you think about that? Great, right? There's success for everybody, right? Go out there. If you have something to say it. When you're ready to say it, go say it. That's what I say. Just be out there and say it. I do this show at the regular time so that people will know what time it comes on. But if you don't have a regular time slot, hey. Get on out there. Oh, absolutely. McElroy Truck Lines tells you to avoid fueling in Georgia due to high fuel tax. But I thought IFTA, right? That's what I was saying before. IFTA eliminates that. You pay more fuel tax, but you get the difference. So you're going to pay the tax on the miles you run in Georgia. But if you've paid $100 in tax and you've only used 50 of it in Georgia, you get it as a credit for other states. It goes all around the country, basically. It kind of floats around. So it pays for other states where you might not have fueled as much. I don't know. I think that the people that doing that, either I don't understand it or they don't understand it. One of the two. It could be me probably because I don't pay IFTA. I don't have to worry about it. Of course, as a company driver, again, I don't worry about IFTA. But the way I understand it, you pay more here, and if you have excess, it pays other states where you've paid less. And then at the end of the quarter or whatever, they see if you owe or if you pay, and it should come out close. I don't think avoiding a state like that is good policy. A person's got to then fuel somewhere where they don't want to fuel. I don't like it. I'd rather the company paid extra and let you fuel wherever, because I think they'll get their work done better, and the drivers will be a lot happier fueling wherever they want to fuel, so they don't have to worry about where they're going to fuel. Oh, I can't fuel in this state. I can only get 48 gallons over here. I only have a half a shower coming, and I run a flatbed, so I'm filthy all the time. Right. If average pay for was 100 to 120, you'd get more 18-year-olds. I wonder about that, because do 18-year-olds think about, what is this going to pay? Maybe if we told them, look, this pays probably more than that advanced art degree you're going to get, or, liberal studies or whatever they call a liberal arts degree or those kind of things. It's going to pay more than that. Corey Harvey, I'm applying for Maverick in January. Okay, I mean, From what people tell me, it takes a while to get on there. You may want to apply there now and see how it goes. They're not super fast, apparently, about getting back to people. They may take months to get back to you. So, Rand McNally. Rand McNally got bought by a private equity firm. That's correct. You know, whenever a private equity firm buys a place, all they do, it's only better. It only makes the place better, never worse. So private equity is... So Rand McNally, the people that used to make maps, which they probably still do, they have some kind of headset, which is inferior quality, and they also do the GPS units and stuff. They were bought by a private equity firm, which I didn't write the name down, but it's a firm based in Los Angeles. I did look it up. Private equity. A French degree. Yeah, exactly. Here's my degree in French. I don't know why I don't make any money here in the United States. Yeah, I moved to Montreal. Delivery time. Oh, thank you very much, Roger Moore. I appreciate it. And thank you for coming in today. I appreciate that. Yeah, right, exactly. And Skittles thanks you as well. So, you know, whenever a company is bought by a private equity firm, it only increases the quality of their products and everything else. So, love that. Gustavo, tomato season is great. I just saw a video of a kid making $60,000 in 2 months. Really? Doing what? I mean, what is this kid doing for $60,000 or $60,000 in 2 months? Or did he make 60,000 tomatoes? I mean, seriously, what are you doing in 2 months to make $60,000 hauling tomatoes around? They're like, what, 30 cents a pound or something? I mean, they don't cost anything. FleetNav GPS units also of inferior quality. Exactly. That's exactly correct. All their units are of inferior quality. But certainly their DriveWise or whatever they call it headset, I mean, they can't even spell it correctly. I mean, come on, really? If you can make $60,000 in 2 months hauling tomatoes, wouldn't everybody do that? I mean, other than this kid makes $60,000. A female driver was killed at 3 a.m. Now, she thought she hit something, so she stopped to pull over to see what it was. She thought it might have been a person, but didn't know. I guess she called 911 and then went out to see it and had the phone with her, and I guess you could hear her yelling and got killed at 3 in the morning, and that's terrible. And that could happen to anybody. And what I want to encourage everybody is if you think you hit something and it's dark or you're really not sure, just drive somewhere and call the police, or call the police and keep moving kind of thing. Don't stop and get out in the dark in the middle of the night. Somebody was waiting for her, got out and killed her. Don't do that, because you could end up, I know people think, well, I got to stop. Call the police immediately. This is what happened. This is what I saw. Here's where I am. You know, but getting out, if you'd have just done that, I mean, getting out can end your life. Be very careful. There's a bunch of weird old crazy people out there. I saw Kevin saw the tomato video. He's an owner operator, makes $3 a mile. Well, that's not enough to make $60,000 in 2 months. Is it? In 8 weeks? $7,000 a week? That'd be $5,600. That'd be $56,000, maybe. Okay, maybe, because I'm thinking of Cash King Trucking videos. He does his numbers every week, so maybe. But okay, that's $60,000 gross then, right? The Real Big John Trucking, you love your Garmin 780. Will you love it when a private equity firm sells it to you? Instead of Garmin, it says private equity firm. Private equity firm. Tomato season only. That's not bad. I wonder how much of that was net. Christina, was she a driver? She was a driver. She was driving by herself. Apparently she was talking to her husband on the phone. Then she thought she hit something, so she dumped him off the call, called 911, and by then she had pulled over and stopped, and she got out to go see what it was. And apparently somebody was waiting and killed her because they heard it on the call, which is horrible. And she leaves behind a husband and whatever else. But I'm encouraging people not to stop in a dark area or where there's not something around. Call the police if you want to. Call 911, of course, and say, this is what happened. I want you to check it out. Here's where I am. This is what's going on. But your safety is in the truck. And once you're out, you're done. You are finished. I mean, it could be 12 people jump out or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Call the police to be safe. Jay Vetum is the channel. Okay. I mean, I guess it's possible. You should upload a list of best starter companies by class. What by how classy they are? That would be pretty interesting. Western Express would never be on that list. Ooh, where did that happen? Oh, I didn't write that down, did I? I don't know where it happened. I'm sorry, I don't know where that happened. It was in the United States. But meaning it's not some kind of international news or whatever, but I don't remember where it was. 3 a.m., getting out of the truck on a dark road, not a great plan for anybody. And it doesn't have to be a woman. This just happened to be a woman. It could be anybody, right? They may think, oh, I'm only going to kill women or what. It might not be that. So be very careful if you stop on the side of the road for anything in the middle of the night, especially people can throw something at your truck and then you think you hit something and you're going to stop and look at it. I don't really recommend that. If the truck is still going, keep going somewhere, and you could call the police to have them look at it. That's what they do, right? Serve and protect or whatever. Don't you stop and look at it. You don't know who's in the woods or who's around. It's just too, right, Christine, it's just too scary of a thing to get out at 3 a.m. to do what? Call the police. That's what they're for. Unless you're in Minneapolis. Politics. But call the police, really. No matter where you are, don't stop. Call them immediately and say, this is what happened. So that's not like you're trying to run away. It's just, I'm in a dark area. I'm by myself. I want some police protection. That kind of thing. And don't just leave, of course, but call the police. Willbound79, good show, Market fans. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Always good to see everybody here. Let's see, where else did I go on this here? Oh, that work truck show, right? I said that. Oh, this trailer fire, too. Another thing, a trailer fire. So a guy's driving down the road. He looks back. Turns out trailer's engulfed in flames. A problem. Turns out that's a problem. He stopped and apparently pulled the pin and took off out of there. And that's the other thing. If you can do that, stop on the side of the road, right? Pull that pin and move the truck away from it. And he saved the truck and everything. But he did not save the trailer, which was already in flames. They showed a picture of it. It was basically just a charred out hull. They think something happened in the reefer unit that caught the trailer on fire. Not great. Pull the pin and dump that trailer, and out you go if you can't. Otherwise, just bail, right? Park and bail out of the side of the thing. Kevin Cooley, you might survive the transplant, but when you get the bill, you can have a heart attack and die from the bill. Yeah, well, you just got to know coming in that, wow, I'm getting a transplant like this person that got one, or my friend who got a double transplant. You are just probably not going to have the money to pay the bill, especially when you've been sick for years and haven't been able to work. So you don't have any insurance. Now what? Why are they even billing you for it? Stephen, drivers need guns. I don't know if that would have helped this lady. Maybe if she'd have had it out and ready and walking away from the truck so that people always have to have room. I do that all the time. I don't walk close to anything because people can jump out. You walk out away from things so that people have to come out into the open to meet you. You have to walk. They have to, come out to you so that they don't just kind of grab you in. That kind of, knowing your surroundings in that is a big deal. That extra second or two is enough. JJ hammered down. That's similar to the KLLM driver killed at a truck stop in Louisiana. She was only 25. So what happened there? I don't remember that story. Christina, will I be able to get a local job? Yeah, absolutely. Will I need 2 years? No, not anymore. There's plenty of local companies that hire people. Unless you live in the middle of, a podunk east armpit, nowhere land. If you can get to a large city, you can get a local job. Anymore. Years ago, that was always the thought, I have to be on the road for years. Not really. Not really anymore. Now, if your town's you only have 100 people that live within 50, miles of you, that could be another story. But if you can get to a city, you can get a job. Yeah, I don't remember that KLLM driver. That's pretty interesting. The only one stock's right. This was pretty good too, right? USX stock is 655. It's down 30% since last Thursday. How about that? Oh, it took a dive. 30% since Thursday. Yellow's 420. That went down. Roadrunner still holding at 224. That's where they've been steady. It turns out getting that guy from Celadon didn't help that much. It just didn't help him. I'm surprised. You thought a financial genius like that, who brought Celadon up from the basement and took him right to the mezzanine level, would have done something, but it didn't help. PAM 4810, that's the other one that I have here. They're up from last week too. So I thought that was really good that PAM was able to move their stock up a little bit. But yellow, 420. 420 for yellow, down slightly. Oh, for new people, right? Halden, New Jersey. If you use your Jake brake there, coming up, they haven't quite passed it. It's going to pass, but $150 fine and 10 days in jail for using your Jakes in town. Now, it's up to the judge whether he actually sends you to jail for 10 days, but it's a possibility that you could get 10 days in jail for it, which is an unusual thing for using a Jake. That was down 9:30 a bit ago. Oh, Christina, the whole thing. Yeah, yellow. I mean, USX took a huge dive. They reported some numbers that were good, but not what they thought they should be, and the stock just tanked 30% in a couple of days. That's got to make me nervous. JJ Hammer down. Her name was Kamisha Thomas. She was found in the sleeper. That's terrible too. I don't remember that story from that KLLM driver. I do remember a story of a driver that stopped on the side of the road because somebody was pointing at their tire, right? Am I right about that? Saying, oh, you have a flat or whatever, and he stopped. And they stopped and killed him. Took his wallet in that and killed this guy. Tanker driver, right? Am I not right about that? Never stop. If the truck is rolling, keep rolling. You don't know what people are going to do. Always assume the worst on something like that. Most people are good people, honestly, but most people that do this kind of stuff are bad. So just assume the worst of everything. Walk away from the trucks, not next to the truck, so somebody can't grab you. Make them take 4 steps to get to you before they get out to you. That's your chance right there. Biden to 2020, Virgo life. I want to be able to itemize my taxes again. Oh, that is a deal, right? You can always itemize, but you have to have more than the standard deduction. That ended a couple of years ago for drivers. I don't know if he talked about bringing that back or not. Really, I haven't heard that be talked about. It will tank when Biden wins. Yeah, we'll see what happens here in a couple of weeks, certainly, on how that goes. It will be certainly interesting. Trump 2020, China must be stopped. Okay, China makes everything, so I don't know what we would stop them doing. Dropping stocks like a bad habit in the early fall is a brilliant idea. In December, I'm going to drop my stock portfolio investment money back into stocks. All right, somebody with some cash flow. A driver in Oakland was shot and killed a few years ago. That is what they're trying to name a bill after, allow drivers to carry guns. Can't remember his name. California is trying to have a bill to allow to carry guns. That's something. Will they be electric guns? Gustavo, Yang 2024. Oh, the part of the Yang gang is here always. He might run. He's a young guy, so he might run again. That's a possibility. Chris is doubting the win for that. So we'll see if the Yang gang gets back up. He's not going to go anywhere. Let's put it that way. He's not going anywhere. He's in the news a lot. So he'd be somebody to watch in the future. I do think that you'll see him pop up and stuff again. And he was interviewed on YouTube by another trucking channel, if I remember right. Didn't Red Viking, I think, had him on the show at one point on his show as an interview. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm like, how do you get a hold of Andrew Yang? So pretty good. Well, you owner-operators, right? I only touched on this. Uber, they just lost their case, their appeals case in California. Uber and Lyft were ordered some time ago, a month maybe, to classify all their drivers as employees. And they go, no, we're not doing it. And they appealed it. The appeal court, they just lost again and said, nope, all of the people that drive for you are employees. And this is part of that AB5 bill. And that's a real problem that they keep losing in court. That's a real problem. You're going to hope that there's a bill, there's a petition on the ballot there in California that this doesn't pass. And you're going to, owner-operators are going to need that to pass. Paul Cruz, it's not uncommon. Okay, where'd I go? Right there. It's not uncommon for stocks to drop for a few weeks before an election. Once Trump wins, right, one should be ready to buy at a discount at market opening. All right, I'll keep that in mind. I got $10 ready for it. Well, Doggins, Summers was on the phone August 31st, 2020. when she said she saw someone or something in the road and thought she would stop to make sure you hadn't hit something. Yeah, that's this one right here, right? This recent lady. Is that this one or is this somebody else? We should all buy U.S. stocks and inflate the value, make some money, then dump the stocks at the same time because they're a garbage company. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty right. We all go into it right now, get it, and now we can't do it now that we talked about it, of course, because that's illegal. Probably. So not great. Christina says no government. That'd be interesting. To have no government at all. Just to enforce contracts between people. That's where I am on that. Right? If people two adults want to make a deal, then the government needs to enforce that. That's it. That's the only thing they should do. Tanker, flatbed, reefer, those classes. Oh, interesting, right? I don't know that much about tankers, really. I only did it for a short period of time, so Prop 22 is the one you're thinking of. Okay, yeah, I know it's one proposition, right, in California, which will allow Uber to keep their people as independent contractors, but they have to pay them $15 an hour, if I remember right. There are a few other stipulations, but because they've been on the news and stuff about it, they're saying, oh, the average driver makes $28 an hour. That's not true, right? I've done Uber here. I've been signed up for many years. I haven't carried passengers for a while. There's no way it pays any $28 an hour. I'd be doing that. Okay, why wouldn't that be a great deal? $1,200 a week. I'd just do that all week. So it doesn't quite pay that much money. Believe me, it pays depending on the hour. It could pay near zero. But currently, Uber and Lyft are putting $100 million into this, and you better hope that they pass this prop, because if it doesn't pass, then these companies are going to get stuck making all their drivers employees, and these drivers own their own cars. So if you lease the truck from a company, that's even more so saying, look, I'm an employee. Uber drivers and that mostly own their cars. Some of them actually rent cars from Enterprise, which you can do in some states. It's going to be a real problem if you're leasing the truck from a company and this doesn't pass. Holy mackerel. I don't see how they're going to get out of making you an employee then. They're going to have you based outside of California, or maybe not even traveling to California. It's possible that they could only send company drivers in there. That would be incredible. That would be incredible to see if they actually did that. I don't know if they'll do it. We'll see how this prop goes. Right now, it's close, because of all the commercials that they're putting out to get it passed. And I'll tell you what, if they're willing to spend $100 million to keep you as an independent contractor, you're probably an employee. Chef Matt, most think they desire freedom until they taste it. Then they want the comfort again. That is how the state of Washington is so much like California. New York and California are two peas in a pod. Yeah, they're horrible, those states. Washington isn't much better. I mean, the craziness that goes on in some of those states. Look, we don't even have a front plate in Indiana. That's how free we are. That's how I consider freedom, by who has a front plate. So that's how you do it here. California, 2 plates. Okay, New York, 2 plates. There, proof. There's your proof. That's scientific. That's science stuff right there. I learned that in public school. That's how you do science. I'm sad that the news sites are labeling this truck driver in Minnesota that went into this crowd. He got on the highway and there was a crowd of protesters there. He drove into the crowd, right? Basically with reckless abandon. All the trucking sites even picked it up like that. And that isn't really what happened. Even the police don't say that. Not much information, still active investigation. Just found out on YouTube, JJ Hammer. Okay. What's a new grad company to work for? Dawn from Cincinnati. Dondrea Howard. Yeah, what's a new grad company? Where do you want to go? I mean, where do you want to be gone? Most presidents get the second term since we used their ways for the last 4 years. Do most people that run again win again? There haven't been that many presidents, so. Should be an employee, I think. Illinois, 2 plates. Exactly. Illinois is horrible. So, absolutely. Let's see if the lease drivers are affected by that. I think so. Kevin, that's been the problem. That's why Prime and even Landstar wasn't taking any more people on in California. They put a message out and said, no, you got to move out of there. You're going to have to move your location out of California because of all this. If this doesn't pass, then the courts have already said now twice to Uber and Lyft, no, your employees. AB5 counts for you. These are employees. I don't see how Prime will get out of it. It's really no different. It may even be worse. Leasing the truck, it'll be most places that lease you the truck. You're going to have to be independent. Where you have your own company. That's going to be the only way to do it, like your own authority. Uber's like minimum wage if you get bad tips. Yeah, exactly. Barely. The only good thing, you set your own hours. That's the best part of it. Only did it here when they had a $25 guarantee, which they would do a lot of times when Purdue was in session and stuff. Now that there's no students, they don't do it for a long time. There were some hours they guaranteed $25, no matter if you took anybody or not. And so I would just get as far away from the bars as possible. That's what they were trying to do. And turn it on. And some nights I'd sit 3 hours, not pick anybody up, drive home, make $75. That's a pretty good day. Gustavo, but don't they enforce that rule of a front plate? Well, at least here in Central California. Yeah, California enforces it, right. But I don't have to have it here in Indiana. We only run a back plate. So they don't enforce it on me. They enforce it in California. You, living there, have to have a front plate. I don't have to it. They don't. You're supposed to enforce the rule. California has a front plate, and you're supposed to put it. I know people, Teslas, for some reason, Tesla people are all persnickety about it. Oh, I can't run a front plate. It ruins the look of my car, whatever. They're supposed to. They're supposed to have a front plate. Luke, I hate driving behind livestock. I hope you have good windshield washer fluid. If you're, I never walk by those trailers. Oh my gosh, never walk next to a trailer with holes in it. Chef Matt, term limits for elected positions will eliminate people. It would, but I don't know if I'm for them or not, because we already have term limits. We're about to have them here in a couple weeks, right? I mean, we can always choose to throw people out that we don't like. That is how it works here, right? She'd been on the phone when she pulled over in Birmingham because she thought she might have hit something. Suspect arrested. Well, right, exactly. From CDL Life, right. She thought, but you can't. If you think you hit something, you can't really pull over. Call the police. Why would that hurt the look of a Tesla? Oh, because they're all, this plate isn't supposed to be on the front. This is not right. So some people put it in their windshield, on the inside. Some just don't run them out there. And other people with higher end cars don't seem to like them on there either. But it is a requirement of the state. So absolutely, they have to run a front plate here in California. We don't here in Indiana because we're a normal state. So, but in California, and then people with higher end cars do complain about it to the state. They can be ticketed. It is true. Sometimes they don't write you a ticket, but it is a pullover. So if a cop is looking to pull somebody over, that's a legit reason to pull you over. You don't have a front plate. And if he pulls you over for something else, that can be an extra ticket that he throws on there. Hey, I'll write your front plate ticket also. So it's always a risk to not run the plate. Hey, you're paying for the 2 plates. You might as well put them on. I think the plates here in Indiana are probably more expensive than most states are, because we get a plate based on the value of your vehicle when it was new, which goes down every 10 years. But I don't know. Kentucky is backwards. Don't they run 2 plates too? As always, great show. You make Mondays great. Hope to someday meet you at the manhole. Kevin, yeah. There every week. You see me up on stage and in the back. That'll be great. I do hope to see you there, right? George Wilson, I would treat my drivers fair. I would only ask them to do what I have done. Light mechanical, grease jobs, wash, wax, change tires. Easy, reasonable, would pay union wages. Absolutely right. Some light engine rebuilding and stuff like that. I haven't changed the tire on a semi, so I usually keep it halfway clean, so that'd be okay. I don't mind greasing it. I'll do stuff like that. Yeah, on a union wages, I think I'm in, right. I'd be in for that, absolutely. Let's see, where did this go? Oh, right, Great Plains was here today. I want to thank them for coming in as I have to head out. You want a salary? How about that? And a bonus? That's pretty awesome. And groceries? They fill up your truck with food. It's full to the top, and it comes out the windows. There's so much food. I don't know if that's true. But you get food to get you started, which is still a pretty good deal, right? As always, GP Transco is also hiring, right? And they are part of the TL revolution, and I hope you will be too. I love this Napa truck. It's just so great looking. Fleet Nav Systems was here today. They're going to be live tomorrow at 3 and Friday at 3 p.m. Right here on the YouTubes. So go see them. It should be a great show. They haven't been live for a while. This is going to be awesome. it'll be good to see them back. Thank you for being here. Cash is King Trucking is live all the time. Basically, just go to his channel. It's super interesting. It really is. He does a lot of numbers as an owner-operator and shows you exactly how everything works, how it all works. So I think that's really great. And where did I go off with this? I don't actually have that on here as I'm moving around. Oh, there it is down there. Okay. And don't forget, if you wear it, make it a parrot. That moved out of the way. I don't know where that moved to. I'll have to move that back. Like, Mark, what are you talking about? Right. That's behind the scenes stuff. Stuff moves around. So, let's see. Fleet and Half Systems, thank you for that. That's a pretty teal color. Yeah, not bad, right? It's unusual for a company truck. I see so many company trucks that are white or whatever, or orange. So I do like that color. I think it's great to buy a separate color other than white trucks. And I saw a GP Transco truck that was deep green, like a hunter green Volvo. So I don't know. It looked like a company truck, but I don't know. Do they have green Volvos? It's probably one of these special deals, like when I saw that dark blue one. We have 2 of these green Volvos, so I don't know. But I saw a dark green Volvo pulling one of their new trailers. What I call it? What's the purpose of 2 plates? Well, the police say, well, we can see a stolen car or whatever with the plate on the front. So that's what they always say. Car identification. It's probably easier to write you a red light ticket and all that kind of stuff. But what is it, 50-50 or so? It's about half the states are split. I'm not sure. Gear Jammers in Kentucky. I don't see any front license plates on the cars. All right. Maybe they only have a back plate. I thought I thought Kentucky was 2 plates. See you next week, and Mark and trucking fans. Yeah, it's good to see you here and everybody. Christina was first way early in the week, and today, then Trucker Hershey. Very close, so close. And Christina also first today. So, and first twice. How about that? You can be first more than one time. Captain Flatbed, thank you for that. It's good to see you. Let's see. Oh, Gear Jammer was here. Stephen Burge, the 2 plates, just for the cops to give you tickets easier, I think. George Wilson. Thanks for being here today. Oh, Kevin was here, right. Chef Matt cooking up some good comments. That's pretty good. I'm pretty good. Well, Doggies was here. I'm all satisfied with that comment. That's pretty good. Gustavo, it's good to see you. And your front plates. Let's see. Oh, Luca, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, where'd I go off to? Oh, JJ Hammer Down was here. Dondrea Howard, write to me. Would you please write to me on the email there on the screen? And we'll talk. Dominican truck driver. Hey, couple months to go. And then freedom, right? It's like your release date. Think of it like that. Alexander was here, pulling the dry vans now for at least one time. It's good to see you and your and how you accessorize your trucks. We'll put it that way. Paul Cruz with the name change. It's good to see you here. Virgo Life. Yikes. That is going to be stuck in my head for a while. Believe me. Believe me. All night. That's not even good. Trucker Hershey, there we go. It's good to see you. The Real Big John Trucking was here. Let's see. Oh, Roger Moore, right, of 007 was here. No president today, I assume busy with other things. Let's see. Corey Harvey, 1989. But I have to head out. MTS, 1993. All these names, right. And I'm going to head out to my place so that they can make some money off of me. That's what companies do, right? Jason Jefferson, that's what we should always remember. Jim Trucker was here. They don't care necessarily. You're there to help them build their dreams. That's what a company is. Kelly Patterson, it's good to see you. And I am going to go, let's see, where'd all this go off to? Boy, everything moves around here. You get all this stuff set up, and then it isn't there anymore. That's not great. But I am moving. Oh, there it is. Finally. All that stuff moved around. Not great. Dang YouTubes. OBS. So, either way, thanks for being here. Be safe. Look at all the snow and all that. Be safe and don't stop, right? Be careful out there. Just call the police. Stopping is just not great. And we'll see you on the next show.